You are about to say something important, but you stop yourself because you already know how someone might react. You rewrite the message before sending it. You hide the goal you actually care about because someone might judge it. You change your opinion because being accepted feels safer than being honest, and nobody notices. That is the dangerous part. Losing yourself rarely happens through one dramatic decision. It happens quietly, one compromise at a time, one moment where you choose approval over authenticity, one moment where you silence your own instincts to protect someone else's image of you. Eventually, you become someone who is easier for others to accept, but harder for you to respect. And the most dangerous part? You may believe you are simply being mature. You may believe you are avoiding conflict. You may believe you are keeping the peace. But sometimes what looks like peace is actually the slow abandonment of yourself. The hidden cost of seeking approval is not just insecurity. It is losing trust in your own judgment. Because when you constantly look outside yourself for permission, you slowly forget how to stand firmly inside yourself. So ask yourself, are you making choices because they reflect your values, or because you are afraid of how people will respond? Because that answer reveals something deeper about who you are becoming. The ancient Stoics understood a truth that modern life constantly challenges. Your greatest strength is not controlling how people see you. Your greatest strength is controlling who you become when nobody is watching. Because anyone can appear disciplined when people are paying attention. Anyone can look confident when they are receiving praise. Anyone can maintain an image when there is an audience. But your real character is revealed in private, the workout nobody knows about, the promise you keep when nobody checks, the difficult decision you make without receiving recognition. That is where identity is built. And this is where the approval trap begins. Wanting acceptance is not weakness. Humans are built for connection. We want respect. We want belonging. We want to feel understood. The problem is not caring what people think. The problem begins when their opinion becomes more important than your own principles. When you stop asking, is this true to who I am? And start asking, will people approve of me if I do this? That small shift can quietly control your entire life. Think about how it happens. You have an idea, but you stay silent because someone might criticize you. You have a dream, but you hide it because someone might not understand. You know a decision is right for you, but you avoid it because disappointing someone feels worse than disappointing yourself. Slowly, you stop building your life around your values. You start building your life around avoiding rejection. And that creates a cycle that becomes harder to escape. Because every time you depend on approval to feel secure, you hand control of your peace to something you can never fully control. Other people's reactions. A compliment can make you feel valuable. A criticism can make you question yourself. A person's disagreement can make you feel like you need to prove your worth. Your emotional state becomes connected to something that was never yours to control. The Stoics understood there was a boundary between what belongs to you and what does not. Your choices belong to you. Your effort belongs to you. Your discipline belongs to you. Your character belongs to you. But other people's opinions, their approval, their judgment, those belong to them. And when you understand that separation, you begin taking your power back. Because approval seeking is not only about wanting people to like you. The deeper problem is what happens after years of doing it. You begin training yourself to distrust yourself. Imagine making thousands of small decisions where you ignore your own instincts. You stop speaking when you should speak. You stop trying because failure might make you look weak. You stop pursuing opportunities because someone else may not understand them. Eventually, your mind starts learning a dangerous lesson. Maybe I cannot trust myself. And this creates something deeper, something that can be called identity debt. Every time you abandon your values to gain acceptance, you borrow comfort from the outside world. But borrowed comfort always comes with a cost, and eventually, that debt has to be paid. You pay it when you feel disconnected from your own goals. You pay it when you realize you built a life around expectations that were never yours. You pay it when you look successful on the outside but feel unfamiliar with yourself on the inside. A person carrying too much identity debt becomes focused on protecting an image instead of building character. They care more about looking successful than becoming successful, more about appearing confident than developing confidence, more about being respected than becoming respectable. And maintaining a false version of yourself becomes exhausting, because pretending requires constant energy. But integrity requires something much simpler: consistency, being the same person in private that you claim to be in public. This leads to one of the most important tests of self-mastery, the empty room test. Imagine every person whose opinion matters to you disappeared for one day. No praise, no criticism, no audience, no one to impress. Who would you become? Who are you when nobody is watching? Not the version of yourself you show online, not the version you create to receive approval, not the version designed to avoid judgment. The real question is, would you still respect yourself in that empty room? If nobody could praise your achievements, would you still pursue them? If nobody knew about your discipline, would you still maintain it? If nobody gave you credit, would you still choose what is right? Because these moments are not meaningless. They are evidence. Every private victory sends a message to yourself. I am someone I can rely on. And that is where real confidence comes from. Not from convincing people you are powerful, but from proving to yourself that you can trust yourself. A person who trusts themselves does not need constant approval. They can handle being misunderstood. They can handle criticism. They can stand alone without feeling incomplete, because their foundation is not built on reactions, it is built on principles. So how do you rebuild this identity? You start by creating evidence, not for the world, for yourself. Do something meaningful that nobody knows about. Train when nobody asks you to. Read when nobody praises you. Improve when nobody notices. Keep promises that only you know you made. Because every private commitment you honor is a deposit into your self-trust. Every time you keep your word to yourself, you reduce your identity debt. You stop saying, I hope people see me differently, and you start saying, I know who I am because I have proven it to myself. But there is another challenge. Learning to tolerate being misunderstood. Because when you stop chasing approval, some people will notice. They may question your choices. They may not understand your discipline. They may prefer the version of you that was easier to influence. And that can hurt. But remember, the people who benefited from your lack of boundaries may struggle when you develop them. The people who were comfortable with your silence may not celebrate your voice. The people who accepted your old identity may resist your new one. And that is okay. Your purpose is not to make everyone comfortable with your growth. Your purpose is to become someone you can respect. The final step is learning to value alignment over acceptance. Before an important decision, ask yourself, am I doing this because it reflects who I am? Or, am I doing this because I am afraid of how others will react? That question can expose years of unconscious behavior, because your life is shaped by the reasons behind your choices. A person who lives only for approval will always be chasing something outside themselves. Another compliment, another achievement, another moment where someone says, you are enough. But the person who develops inner strength realizes something different. They were never missing approval. They were missing trust in themselves. The hidden cost of seeking approval is not simply that other people influence your decisions. The deeper cost is that you slowly silence your own voice. You forget what you value. You forget what you believe. You forget who you are when nobody is there to validate you. But when you stop living for an audience, something changes. You become calmer. You become stronger. You become free. Because the person who no longer needs constant approval is no longer controlled by the world around them. They can walk into any room without becoming a different person. They can hear criticism without losing themselves. They can stand alone without feeling empty. So ask yourself one final question. When nobody is watching, are you becoming someone you respect? Because your answer will not be found in what you tell people. It will be found in the promises you keep when nobody knows. Start with one promise, one action, one decision that proves you can trust yourself. Because every time you choose integrity over approval, you reduce the distance between who you are and who you want to become. You stop borrowing your identity from the world, you start building it from within. And that is where real self-mastery begins.